Hi, this is Kathi Quinn with Floriani. Floriani is a division of R&K Distributing, and I want to welcome you to this week's Project of the Week. We've had lots of questions on our thread chart creator, so this week's project is going to focus on that. Now, I wanted to create a thread chart for the January 2015 designs. Remember, we give you 5 free designs every month as a thank you for being a Floriani software owner. So I want a thread chart that's for that folder. So the first thing I need to find out is what's in that folder. So I'm going to come over to my library. I'm going to go to Free Monthly Designs, and I'm going to come down to January 2015. Then I'm going to hover over my Designs tab, and that's going to show me the designs within that folder. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over this tree. Now in this little heart tree, you'll notice I've got Harvest Brown 745, and I'm going to write these colors down. We've got 247 Ivy, then I'm going to write down 275, and I'm going to write down 125. Now I'm going to go ahead and open another one of those designs. I'm going to look through, and I think what I'm going to pull in is this little cherub here. And I notice that I'm going to add in colors 900, 262, and 703. Now I'll go ahead and check one more. Another new design page, and I'm coming over to my Designs tab, and I think I'll bring in this Be Mine. Now I already have 703, we already have 125, so we're going to add 352, 200, and 900 black. And I think that will now encompass all the color numbers that are in that folder. So let's go ahead and create a design. A thread chart. So we're going to come up to the word Tools, left mouse click on it, go down to the word Thread Chart Creator, and left mouse click. Now the first thing I want to do is give this thread chart a name, and I'm going to call it January Monthly Designs, and it's 2015. So I've selected that, so I'll know that this thread chart that I've created will always work for that folder. Now I'm going to come down and I'm going to go to the word Import. Now it comes up on the Floriani Poly thread palette. That's the last thread palette I had chosen. And if I look in here, if I didn't stitch with beautiful Floriani thread, and incidentally, our thread has the highest tensile strength on the market. It's the hardest to break, and it has the beautiful, gorgeous sheen of a rayon, but it is a poly. So I've selected Floriani Poly, but I could come and pick Floriani Metallics, Floriani Cotton, or any other brand that I wanted to select. But I'm going to stay with Floriani Poly for this thread chart. Now I'm going to come down. You see this little question mark right here? It's asking me what thread. So I'm going to left mouse click on it, and a box comes up. So the first thing I'm going to type in is color 745. I'm going to tell it to find it. You can see it's right there. It's come in, and I'm going to import. Now I'm going to touch this again. Left mouse click on that question mark and type in 247. Find, import. I'm going to come back down. I want color 275. Find, import. Let's do it again. Our question mark, color 125. Find, import. Oops, I'm sorry, import. I've already found it. Find, let's find it. I'm sorry, import. Now again, let's come to our little question mark. We're going to type in color 900. Find that color, import it. Find color 262. Find, import. Now, I know we're doing this a lot, but the reason is if you do it several times, believe me, you will remember. 703, find, import. Let's go ahead. Let's do 352, find, import. Let's come here and do 200, find, import. Now I have imported all the colors I want. Now if I wanted to add a different color out of a different thread, I could come down here and I could say, you know what, I might use a little micro thread in this design, so I'm going to go to Floriani's micro thread, and I might come in here and I'm not sure what the thread colors are, so I might say, I like this red for my heart. This is fire engine red. It tells me down here. I'm going to import that. That's a micro thread. And so I could add some micro threads as well, so I don't have to just choose from one color palette. Now that I have created this, I'm going to say exit, but I want to save first. The nice thing about this is if you forget to save and you go to exit, it's going to remind you that you did not save your chart. So we're going to save. Well, let me exit out of this one. Let's go to save here. Do I want to save the color palette, January Monthly Designs 2015? Yes, I want to save that. Now I'm going to close this or exit it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the very left-hand corner where I can select a thread chart. And I'm going to come and select my January Monthly Designs. So now there is my thread chart for these designs. And you notice it's in the right colors and these colors are down here. So let's say I don't want that rose to be pink. I want that rose to be a red rose. So I'm going to left mouse click. I've got my colors all down here now. Now if I hover, you notice it'll tell me exactly what color it is and the thread chart it's in. Notice it says January Monthly Designs 2015 and this color is green 275. So our colors are down here. How nice is that? So if I go back into any of these other designs, my thread chart, all my colors here are contained down here. Makes it very easy to change colors within the thread chart and looking at our designs. So I think this is a really nice exercise to learn that. But let's do some other things. Let's say, let's go back into our tools and let's go to our thread chart creator. And I'm going to come in and the palette I want to look at, I want to open an existing color palette. So it brought up those color palettes and we're going to come down to that January Monthly Designs and open it. So it's brought that thread palette back up. Now remember I added this micro stitch thread right here. Let's click on that. And let's decide maybe I don't want that. So I'm going to remove that color. Do I want to delete Fire Engine Red 702? Yes, I do. So I have now deleted that color out of my thread chart. And maybe I want to add in some more colors in here. Maybe I want to add in a color from the color wheel. I can pick a shade of color on here. So I've picked this color right here and I can change this and say this is dark purple. And it either has a color code or it doesn't. I'm going to say it's 00 because I have no idea. So now I have created a color on my thread chart and notice it has added it right here. So I can even pick colors off my thread chart, my color wheel, to add to my thread chart. Why would you want to do that? Well, you might pick a shade and then you'll let it match to the closest color in your thread palettes that you've selected. So this is a good way if you're trying to create your design and you're picking the colors you like. You're just saying, well, I kind of like this shade of green. I like this, I like that. You can go ahead and work with that going through. Now, I can also add, let's say I want to import a thread chart, and let's say I have some other threads, and we'll say I've got Isacord polyester, and I might want to add in there, and maybe I don't know the color numbers because My color numbers were all in. I got them from my designs and they were all Floriani colors. So I might say, well, I like this green. So I can click on that. It's brought it in and I can still import that. Now let's exit out of here and notice I've also brought that into my thread chart. So you can add to these thread charts. You can delete from you can delete colors out of these thread charts, and you can actually delete the whole thread chart. Let's say I don't want this thread chart at all. I could delete, and I can come down here and say I want to delete the thread chart, the monthly designs. I want to delete that whole thread chart, and I can delete that now, and now that will no longer be in my thread palette. It has not been saved because it knows, nope, changes will be lost. Yes, I'm going to exit. That way I'm going to come here and we're going to look down and notice my January thread chart is gone because I have deleted the whole thread chart. So what have we learned today? We've learned to go to Tools, Thread Chart Creator, name your thread chart, come in and import what thread palette you want to choose from. Use your question mark to type in your color number and then find it. Find that color and import it into your thread chart. That's simple. Then you exit out of here and remember to save your thread chart. But remember, if I go to exit I forget to save it, it's going to tell me, hey, these changes are going to be lost. Do you really want to exit? If I said no, then I can come back and save this with a name. So we're going to say, no, I don't want to save that. Exit, and we're out of there. So you can create your own thread chart that way. You can use the color wheel. We've looked at how to add a color to an existing thread chart and how to open that thread chart and view it. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson on our thread chart creator. I look forward to seeing you again next week.